Vitamin K. Somewhere in your body, there's a traffic cop deciding exactly where your calcium is allowed to go, and its name is vitamin K. Its job is to switch on two proteins, one that locks calcium into your bones, and one that keeps calcium out of your arteries. Run low on vitamin K, and both proteins stay switched off, which means calcium starts going to the worst possible addresses. Your bones quietly lose density, while your arteries quietly start hardening, like your skeleton and your blood vessels accidentally swapped shopping lists. This happens for years, without a single symptom, no ache, no warning, nothing you'd notice while scrolling your phone on the toilet. People on blood thinners like warfarin are especially at risk, because those drugs block vitamin K on purpose, which stops bleeding but speeds up arterial calcification as a side effect nobody really advertises. Eventually, you're left with brittle bones and stiff, chalky arteries. And the only early warning sign was a blood marker almost nobody ever checks: vitamin B12. Think of B12 as the maintenance crew for the insulation wrapped around every nerve in your body. It helps convert a toxic byproduct called homocysteine into something useful, and without it, that toxic buildup starts corroding your nervous system from the inside, like rust slowly eating through wiring you can't see. The early signs are almost insultingly vague: fatigue, brain fog, a weird tingling in your hands and feet that you blame on sleeping funny. But underneath, your spinal cord is quietly losing its protective coating. Left unchecked, this becomes something called subacute combined degeneration, where people lose the ability to sense where their own limbs are in space, stumble like they're drunk without a single drink involved, and eventually lose feeling and movement entirely. And here's the twist nobody expects: recreational nitrous oxide use can destroy your body's B12 almost instantly, which is why otherwise healthy young people occasionally wake up with nerve damage that took everyone else decades to develop. Folate. Folate is basically the photocopier your body uses to duplicate DNA, and without enough of it, cell division starts jamming up everywhere, especially in your blood, where new red blood cells come out oversized and broken, like a print job stuck halfway through the page. But the quieter damage is happening in your bloodstream itself. Low folate lets homocysteine build up just like a B12 deficiency does, slowly scarring the lining of your blood vessels for years before anything shows up on a scan. And during pregnancy, folate's photocopier job becomes urgent within days of conception, because a shortage during those first few weeks can prevent a baby's spine from closing properly. One of the few nutrients where a deficiency in the first month can matter more than in the next 20 years. Thiamine. Thiamine, or B1, is the spark plug your cells need to burn sugar for energy. And your brain and heart, which basically run on nothing else, feel a shortage faster than almost any other tissue in your body. Because your liver only stores about 2 to 3 weeks of it, the symptoms show up shockingly fast: irritability, exhaustion, a strange burning feeling in your feet. Left alone, this becomes beriberi, which comes in 2 brutal flavors. One floods your body with fluid and pushes your heart into failure. The other slowly paralyzes your limbs from the outside in. In the brain, a severe thiamine crash can trigger Wernicke's encephalopathy, causing confusion and loss of balance. And if untreated, it can lock in permanent memory loss. The cruel twist is that giving a thiamine-deficient body a shot of pure glucose can actually trigger the crisis faster, because the sugar gets burned using whatever thiamine is left: niacin. Niacin builds the coenzymes your cells use to turn food into usable energy in basically every organ you own. And your brain, which eats up nearly a fifth of your daily energy, despite being a fraction of your body weight, notices first. Early deficiency looks like nothing more than low mood, poor focus, and a lost appetite. But niacin has a second job most people never hear about. It helps your skin repair the damage sunlight causes. Without it, skin exposed to sunlight develops a thick, scaly rash that famously forms a ring around the neck exactly where a collar would sit, a pattern doctors nicknamed Cazel's necklace. Combine that with diarrhea and confusion, and you get pellagra, historically summed up as the 4 Ds: dermatitis, diarrhea, dementia, and death, which sounds medieval, but was still showing up in the 20th century in people whose diets leaned almost entirely on corn. Vitamin B6. B6 is the mixing engineer behind your mood, tuning the levels of serotonin, dopamine, and your brain's main calming chemical, GABA, run low, and that mix goes badly out of balance, showing up as irritability, depression, and in newborns, seizures that stem from a brain that literally can't calm itself down. But B6 has a genuinely bizarre twist. Too little damages your nerves, and so does too much. High-dose supplement users can develop the exact same numbness and loss of coordination as someone who's deficient, just through a completely different mechanism. It's one of the only nutrients in your body with a narrow safe zone on both ends, making it the Goldilocks vitamin nobody warned you about. Vitamin A. Vitamin A runs two very different departments, your night vision and your body's mucous membranes, and both quietly collapse without it. The first sign is night blindness. Your eyes simply stop regenerating the pigment they need to see in low light, turning your evening drive into a genuine gamble. Keep the deficiency going, and the moist surface of your eyes starts hardening into dry, carrot-encrusted patches called Beato's spots, which can progress to permanent corneal damage and blindness. That same hardening happens across your lungs, gut, and skin, stripping away a physical barrier that was quietly protecting you from infection the entire time. Which is part of why vitamin A deficiency dramatically raises the death rate from something as ordinary as measles. Vitamin E. Vitamin E is the bodyguard, standing on every one of your cell membranes, absorbing hits from unstable molecules called free radicals before they can rupture the cell. Without enough of it, that damage runs unchecked, and your red blood cells take the worst of it, warping into jagged, spiky shapes that get destroyed early, causing anemia. Your nerves take a hit too, especially the long ones running down your arms and legs, slowly losing their protective coating, until people develop poor coordination and can no longer sense where their limbs are, a condition that can look almost identical to a completely different genetic disease. It's a slow-motion kind of damage, corrosion instead of collapse. Vitamin D. Vitamin D isn't really acting like a vitamin at all. It's a hormone secretly running your skeleton's construction site. Its main job is keeping calcium levels in your blood steady. And when levels drop, your body pulls calcium straight out of your bones to compensate, quietly demolishing them, one microscopic withdrawal at a time. This can run silently for decades with zero symptoms, because bone doesn't have pain receptors for slow erosion. The first clue is often a hip, spine, or wrist that fractures from something as small as a stumble. In kids, still growing bones bend under their own weight, causing rickets. In adults, it's called osteomalacia, and it can cause a dull, persistent ache and weakness long before any fracture shows up on a scan. Your skeleton has been under construction the entire time, and nobody sent you the blueprints. Vitamin B5 and Biotin. These two rarely get mentioned because deficiency is genuinely rare, but when it happens, the damage hits at the most basic level possible, the machinery that turns food into energy at all. B5 builds a molecule called coenzyme A, which basically every metabolic process in your body needs a ticket from, and without enough of it, you get bone-deep fatigue, headaches, and muscle cramps that don't make sense for how little you did that day. Biotin, meanwhile, is essential for building hair, skin, and nails, and famously has one bizarre villain, raw egg whites. They contain a protein that binds biotin so tightly your gut can't absorb it. So, eating raw egg whites regularly can quietly starve your body of a nutrient it would otherwise never run short of. The result is thinning hair, cracked skin around the eyes and mouth, and a foggy low mood that nobody would ever think to blame on breakfast.